I don't know about you, but 2024 has been an incredibly stressful year for me. I, Outside of life events, it just seems like the world we live in is just a complete disaster. Personally, I can't see any good things coming out of the most recent presidential election. We have armed conflicts in the Middle East and Eastern Europe that could get much, much worse. And economically, it's like everybody is struggling just to make ends meet. Some mornings I wake up and I wonder, how the hell did we even get to this point? I admit there are those days when I wonder just whether or not we're going to be able to recover from this. Enter Christmas Eve. Now, for those who don't follow the liturgical calendar, Advent is the season that leads us into Christmas. And typically, the weeks of Advent are understood as a time of excitement and joy because we're getting ready for that big event that is Christmas. But there's another way to understand Advent. Because you see, in the Bible, there's this thing called apocalyptic literature. And the basic idea behind apocalyptic literature is this: we have screwed things up so badly, so unbelievably badly, that there is absolutely no way whatsoever that we are ever going to be able to get ourselves out of the hole that we have dug ourselves into. All the king's horses and all the king's men aren't going to put this world back together again. It's impossible. But here's the twist with apocalyptic literature. You see, there's a wild card in the deck, and that wild card is God. And when that wild card comes into play, everything is going to change. Our task in the meantime is to pay attention, wait for it, watch for that wild card to hit the table. And that brings us to Christmas Eve. It's the night of the grand unveiling, the apocalyptic moment when God intervenes and the divine hope for the world is revealed. Ta-da! But there's just something not right about this story. Remember, we're talking about God breaking into the world and fixing things and making it all right after we've screwed everything up, right? Well, you'd expect this breaking in to be something that's big and exciting. With like lots of fanfare, thunder, lightning. After all, we're talking about divine intervention here. Have you ever binge watched a TV series and then when that grand finale drops, you're like, really? That's the big reveal? And it turns out that the very thing that you've been waiting for all this time is just, quite frankly, kind of lame? That the climax of the story is rather anticlimactic, really. Well, that's kind of the story of Christmas Eve. Here we have the apocalyptic moment, and the big reveal is, oh look, somebody gave birth to a baby. Seriously? That's it. How many babies are born every single day, every single year? Sorry, but as far as like those earth-shattering events go, this is just not that big of a deal. How special can divine intervention really be if it's going to be just like normal everyday life? Where's the miracle? Where's the hope in that? Part of the struggle in the life of faith for adults is that we can become so conditioned through years and years of everyday life, conditioned to see and experience the world in a certain way. And so we forget what it's like to see the world through the wondrous eyes of a child. You see, for a child, underneath every tree is a gift. Behind every door, a mystery. And where there are cute little fuzzy barn animals, an invitation. Where adults see the ordinary, the mundane, the stuff of everyday life, children can still see the newness of the moment. Now, have you ever noticed how when children are playing cards, what they're doing is they're like playing their card games and everything, they're turning the cards over and everything. And then when that wild card hits the table, they get so excited. Look, it's the wild card. Now, they might not understand all the rules exactly, and they might not understand how in the world this wild card is supposed to actually affect everything, but it doesn't really matter because what they do know is this: it's the wild card. And now everything is about to change. Suddenly, it's a whole new game for them. Whenever you see children get that excited over the wild card, do you really just want to spoil it for them and tell them the truth? I mean, you know, that it's just another card like any other card in the deck. I mean, that's what it really is, right? Just another card, right? Or is it? Could these children be onto something? Is it possible for a regular old card to be a real game changer? Is it possible for the divine and human to be encountered as one and the same in the midst of everyday life? Is it possible for the darkest of nights to actually be the brightest of all days? Is it possible for despair itself to give birth to hope? If the birth of Jesus is the apocalypse, this inbreaking of God so total and all-consuming that mighty oaks bend in adoration, that volcanoes silence themselves, that the seas change their course, and that the four winds sing their praises. If the birth of Jesus is this all-consuming divine apocalypse, is it possible that we are completely missing it because we are so focused on what we expect to be a big, grand, special event 2,000 years ago, rather than looking for it with the eyes of a child in the midst of our everyday lives? Every breath you take is a miracle that fuels the divine life that courses through your body. Every single day in which you awaken is pregnant with new possibility. Every person you meet is a beloved child of God. 2024 has been a very tough year for many, and we often wonder how we're going to get ourselves out of this mess that we got ourselves into. But tonight is a night for good news. For behold, the apocalypse is here. And if you pay attention, you can see it all around you. Merry Christmas, everyone, and I hope you have a wonderful New Year.